Pastore Giolostin, grazie per aver accettato questo invito e voglio iniziare proprio dalla storia di Lakewood Church, che ha compiuto 60 anni. Fondata da tuo padre ormai dal 1999 e sotto la tua guida. Però volevo chiederti se puoi condividerci un ricordo legato alla figura di tuo padre e se possibile tracciare anche il momento più significativo della storia di Lakewood Church, la chiesa più grande degli Stati Uniti d'America.
My father was a great pastor. He had an amazing love for people. He was always for the underdog and was always encouraging people. And really, that's what Lakewood was built out of, that anyone is welcome to come and to receive the love of Christ and to be lifted up. And so my father put that same love for people in me. And I think one of the most significant things that have happened here at Lakewood since his passing is the church just began to grow. People were very loyal to my parents and they wanted me to succeed. And so after my dad's passing, people continued to come and in just record numbers. And then we moved into a large facility, the former Compact Center. It was just the hand of God. And I look back and see how God has everything ordained. The scripture says our steps have been ordered by the Lord. And so I can see that in my own life and in the church's life. And I believe that for you and for the people of Italy as well, that God has us in the palm of His hand, that He's ordering our steps, and that He has good things in store. And one thing I did learn from my father is that God's dream for our life is bigger than our own. I never thought I could minister. I was raised behind the scenes doing television production, but when my dad died, I knew I was supposed to step up and pastor the church, and never dreaming we would be where we are today. But that's the way our God is. When you stay faithful where you are, you never know where He's going to take you.
Pastore Giolostin, dopo la pandemia legata al Covid-19, le chiese hanno subito dei grandi mutamenti. Molte persone decidono di non frequentare più i locali di culto. Io voglio chiederti dalla tua esperienza pastorale quanto è importante che i fedeli frequentino una chiesa e se è importante che il pastore abbia un contatto diretto con i fedeli.
When COVID hit, we had to shut down our in-person services. So for 8 months, we didn't have church in the building where I am today. And it was much more difficult because I believe we're made for community. We're made to be with one another. And even the scripture says to encourage one another daily. So I think, now many people watch by the media, they watch online, and that's good. But I think the best is to be in contact with other believers and to be in the house of the Lord in person if you possibly can. We love the ability to outreach through the media, but again, I think getting the kids in church, getting children in church, being around other faith-filled believers, I think something happens when we're together. And so we're seeing people come back more and more, and that warms my heart because as a preacher's kid, that's the way I grew up, and I think that's when we're the best, when we're all together.
Rumori di guerra ormai purtroppo caratterizzano ogni angolo della terra. Dopo la guerra in Ucraina, in questi mesi stiamo assistendo a questo terribile conflitto in Medio Oriente tra Israele e l'organizzazione terroristica Hamas. Pastore Giolostin, la domanda che ti voglio rivolgere è questa. Stiamo davvero vivendo gli ultimi tempi della pazienza di Dio?
It is a very troubling time with the wars in Ukraine and what's happened in Israel and the Mideast. And, the scripture tells us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And, of course, we do that and just for peace for all the believers there in the Middle East. But it's a time where, more than ever, we're seeing what the scripture talks about coming to pass. And I believe it's a time to stay in faith and not live in fear. I believe it's a time to reach out to our loved ones and make sure that they know the Lord, because we are, I believe, living in the end times and seeing Bible prophecy take place. But as believers, we can take heart. Jesus said, don't let your heart be troubled, but believe in me, and you can stay full of cheer. And so that's the thing, to be people of prayer and people of joy and reach out to others, but stay in that place of peace, and we just believe God's perfect will be done.
Pastore Giolostin, infine, ringraziandoti per il tempo che ci hai dedicato, io vorrei chiederti, senti in cuore di condividere un messaggio per l'Italia?
I just want to remind you that God has you in the palm of His hand. That you wouldn't be alive unless He had something good in front of you. And I know sometimes it can be difficult and things that we don't understand. Maybe there's a dream, you don't see how it could work out, but God has it all figured out. When you live from a place of peace and a place of faith, that's when you'll see God do things that you couldn't do on your own. So know the day that the most powerful force in the universe is on your side. God is breathing in your direction right now, and I believe you're going to see some unusual things happen. God doing what you couldn't do on your own. Keep Him first place. Keep honoring Him. I believe you're going to see His goodness in new ways. We love you here in the U.S. We're praying for you. And again, believing for God's very best for you and your family.
Pastore Joel Osteen, io ti voglio ringraziare per questo cuore, per questa visione per l'Italia. Ti ringrazio per questa intervista che ci hai concesso in esclusiva. Non ci resta che augurarci il meglio da parte di Dio, per voi, per noi e insieme per la Chiesa di Dio universale. Dio ci benedica.